When it comes to legendary monster battles, few names spark as much excitement as King Kong. From towering skyscrapers to explosive city showdowns, the giant ape has become one of the most iconic creatures in cinematic history. Now imagine an epic clash that shakes the streets, rattles the skyline, and leaves the entire city in chaos: King Kong vs. Giant Duck Man. This is not just another monster fight, it's the biggest clash the city has ever seen. King Kong first roared onto the big screen in 1933 with the groundbreaking film King Kong, a cinematic masterpiece that changed monster movies forever. Created by Marion C. Cooper and Ernest B. Schoedsack, the original story introduced audiences to Skull Island, a mysterious land filled with prehistoric creatures and the mighty ape who ruled them all. That film set the foundation for decades of remakes, reboots, and crossovers that would keep King Kong at the center of pop culture. Over the years, Kong has evolved with modern filmmaking technology. The 2005 remake directed by Peter Jackson brought stunning visual effects and emotional depth to the story. Then came Kong: Skull Island, which reimagined Kong as a guardian of his island and part of a larger universe of titans. Finally, the MonsterVerse expanded further with Godzilla vs. Kong, where Kong faced off against another legendary monster in one of the most anticipated battles in cinematic history. Now, picture this: the city skyline is calm at sunset. Traffic moves normally, lights flicker on in skyscrapers, and everything seems peaceful. Suddenly, a massive shadow crosses the buildings. Windows shatter. Sirens begin to scream. King Kong has arrived. But this time, he isn't alone. Enter Giant Duck Man, a towering, mysterious creature unlike anything the city has ever seen. With enormous wings, razor-sharp claws, and a thunderous roar that echoes through the streets, Giant Duck Man challenges Kong's dominance. The ground trembles as both titans face each other in the heart of the city. What makes King Kong such a powerful opponent is not just his size, but his intelligence and strength. Unlike many monsters, Kong thinks, adapts, and uses his surroundings as weapons. We've seen him wield trees as clubs, chains as whips, and even advanced weapons in modern films. His raw power combined with emotional depth makes him more than just a beast, he is a warrior. In a clash against Giant Duck Man, Kong would rely on his brute force and agility. Despite his massive size, Kong moves quickly, climbing buildings and leaping across rooftops with surprising speed. Giant Duck Man, on the other hand, dominates the skies. With powerful wings that generate hurricane-force gusts, he can launch devastating aerial attacks. The battle begins with a thunderous collision. Kong charges forward, slamming into Giant Duck Man and sending shockwaves through the streets. Cars flip, concrete cracks, and nearby buildings crumble under the impact. Giant Duck Man retaliates by taking to the air, swooping down with incredible speed. His talons slash across Kong's shoulder, and the crowd below watches in shock as sparks and debris rain down. This isn't just a physical fight, it's a battle for supremacy. Kong pounds his chest and roars defiantly, a sound that echoes between skyscrapers. Giant Duck Man answers with a piercing cry that shatters glass for blocks. The city becomes a war zone as the two titans unleash their full power. Fans of the MonsterVerse know that Kong has faced overwhelming odds before. In Godzilla vs. Kong, he stood toe-to-toe with one of cinema's most powerful creatures. That experience proved that Kong is relentless. Even when outmatched, he refuses to back down. The emotional core of any King Kong story has always been his connection to humanity. Whether it was Fay Wray's iconic performance in the 1933 film or Naomi Watts in the 2005 remake, Kong has often been portrayed as misunderstood rather than purely destructive. That emotional layer adds depth to any battle he fights. Is he defending himself, protecting something, or simply trying to survive in a world that fears him? In the imagined showdown against Giant Duck Man, the stakes are higher than ever. Military forces surround the city, helicopters circle overhead, and tanks roll into position. But history has shown that human weapons rarely stop titans. The focus remains on the two colossal figures locked in combat. Giant Duck Man uses his aerial advantage to knock Kong off balance, sending him crashing into a skyscraper. The building collapses in a cloud of dust. For a moment, it seems like Kong is down. Silence fills the air. Then, from the rubble, a massive hand emerges. Kong rises, battered but unbroken. Drawing on his survival instincts, Kong grabs a fallen steel beam and hurls it with incredible force. It strikes Giant Duck Man mid-flight, sending him spiraling into another building. The impact creates an explosion of debris that lights up the night sky. What makes this clash so thrilling is the contrast in fighting styles. Kong is grounded, powerful, and relentless. Giant Duck Man is swift, unpredictable, and airborne. Every move shifts the balance of power. Every strike changes the battlefield. As the fight intensifies, fires spread across the city. Emergency crews scramble to evacuate civilians. The skyline that once symbolized human achievement now serves as a battleground for ancient forces beyond comprehension. One of the reasons King Kong continues to captivate audiences nearly a century after his debut is his adaptability. From stop-motion animation in 1933 to cutting-edge CGI in modern blockbusters, Kong evolves with each generation. He remains relevant because he represents both primal strength and tragic vulnerability. In this ultimate city clash, that duality shines. Kong fights with fury, but there's intelligence behind his eyes. He studies Giant Duck Man's patterns, waits for the right moment, and times his counterattack perfectly. When Giant Duck Man dives for a final blow, Kong sidesteps at the last second, grabs one wing, and slams the creature into the ground with earth-shaking force. The pavement cracks for miles. Shockwaves ripple outward. The city falls eerily quiet as dust settles around the fallen Giant Duck Man. Kong stands victorious, chest heaving, silhouetted against the burning skyline. But victory in a King Kong story is never simple. As military forces prepare to strike, Kong looks around at the destruction. Sirens wail. Buildings lie in ruins. For a brief moment, the mighty Titan seems almost reflective, a reminder that these battles always come at a cost. King Kong's legacy is built on spectacle, emotion, and unforgettable battles. From the Empire State Building scene that became one of cinema's most iconic moments to modern-day Titan showdowns, Kong remains a symbol of epic storytelling. The imagined battle against Giant Duck Man carries the tradition forward, delivering action, drama, and larger-than-life excitement. For fans searching for King Kong full movie experiences, monster fight scenes, and epic city destruction, this concept captures everything that makes giant creature films so thrilling. It combines nostalgia with modern intensity, honoring the legacy that began in 1933 while imagining a bold new chapter. In the end, King Kong vs. Giant Duck Man isn't just about who wins. It's about spectacle. It's about the roar that shakes the sky, the clash that stops a city in its tracks, and the timeless appeal of watching legends collide. As long as audiences crave massive battles and cinematic giants, King Kong will stand tall among them, a true king of monsters, ready to face any challenger that dares to rise against him.